You are in the Temple of the Rants, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by becoming one of those. This one's for Armin Stein, who says, rant about anything. Anything, I don't care. Close your eyes, spin around, and rant about the first thing you see after opening your eyes if you can't think of anything. You know, I had several ideas of what I was going to rant about over the last week, but I forgot them all. So, closing my eyes, and what do I see if I look over there? I'm pointing at Figure 17 or Trigun. I can't tell. I guess I'm mostly pointing at Figure 17. So Figure 17 is an anime series that is highly interesting, very different from anything else I've ever seen. And I still haven't completed it, even after years of trying, because it's a 13 episode series, but where each episode is 45 minutes long. It stars a little girl who her dad moves her out to the countryside in the middle of the northern prefectures of Japan, and she grew up in Tokyo, but her mom died, I think, like a year prior, and so they've moved out there to change their pace of life and stuff like that. And basically, she's really shy and doesn't really know how to approach the people of this place. The place itself is beautiful. Like, the show has really gorgeous backgrounds done by Shinichiro Kobayashi. It's very slow paced. Like, the first half, or first even like maybe 30 minutes of each episode, is a slow slice of life story about this very awkward young girl trying to, slowly learn to communicate with the world around her, and just being like scared and awkward, and not really knowing how to phrase her emotions to people and stuff like that. And I relate to it super hard. I was even writing a video about it at one point. Before even finishing the show, I was like working on a big video that I was going to do. I was going to have all this editing, and I was fucking building like a sound palette for it. It was going to be like a new style of video, but I never ended up finishing it. But yeah, what happens in the second part of each episode is some crazy ass alien sci-fi shit. So basically, this alien, like, what would I compare her to? She's kind of like a, design wise, almost looks like a Cyborg 009 type, or like, that sort of just like badass combat. Oh, Birdie the Mighty. That's probably the best comparison I can come up with. Like a Birdie the Mighty-esque alien lands on Earth and is fighting these alien like parasite monsters that are legitimately creepy and gross looking. They look like small scale Godzilla monsters. And they're pretty cool. Or sort of Alien the movie-esque in a way. So she's fighting these monsters, and basically, I don't remember exactly how, but she ends up getting fused with the little girl. And so the little girl, what happens is a second version of her, like a clone of her, appears. And the clone is basically an outgoing version of herself. So what ends up being the case is that the first 30 minutes of each episode is about this little girl and her clone just sort of going about their everyday life. And the clone is trying to help her along and help her to form connections, because of the fact that, again, she's more outgoing, she's, unafraid, she's able to sort of bring this girl out of her shell, but also because she's a little bit more reckless, she also brings out a sterner side of her a little bit. And when aliens appear in the later part of the episode, the two of them fuse together into the alien girl, and they kick ass. And it has some of the fucking best fight music ever, because the OP of the show, which is also fucking awesome, and a lot of the music are done by a band called The Alfie, who's like a 70s prog band. I compare them to something like, what's the name of the band that did Carry On My Wayward Son? Kansas. They're like kind of a Kansas-esque 70s prog band that does a bunch of music in this show that sounds fucking awesome. It's very like, the battle theme is very like Power Rangers-esque in a way. So yeah, it's basically one part like creepy alien horror action and one part slow contemplative slice of life, and the episodes are long as hell, so it's very different from anything else, as I said before. I've heard that it gets really dark and a little crazy in its later episodes. I've never made it that far. I think I watched the first 5. And I've like tried 3 times over the years. Like, I keep coming back, but just because the episodes are so long, and it's hard to justify watching a show that I know if I talk about it, nobody will give a shit. Though that doesn't matter to me anymore, so maybe I'll watch it sometime soon, because my mentality about what I watch and what I talk about has changed considerably over the years. But, yeah, it's a pretty fucking interesting show that I definitely recommend if it sounds like something that would interest you. If you're somebody who's ever experienced the kind of emotions I'm describing this character as having, I would definitely suggest it because you will definitely resonate with the characters. And if you like crazy alien action shit, it's worth checking out for that element, but just know you're going to have to sit through some real slow slice of life shit leading up to that. But I think it's all well handled. I don't think it's necessarily badly paced. It just is a bit boring, But whatever. I like it.